Hey, this is Jeff Rose, GoodFinancialSense.com. I got asked a question the other day that really got me thinking. It really got my wheel spinning up here. And a client asked me, Jeff, what is the best financial advice that you've ever received, that you've got in your lifetime? And I really had to take a moment and really think about, of all the information I've got, of all the tips, of all the advice I've gotten over the years, what is the best advice? And I honestly couldn't answer that question immediately. I thought I had a few ideas, but I really wanted to just take a breath and just really see, what's some of the best advice I ever got. Now, the one thing, if this is the first time ever hearing me talk, or if you haven't been to the blog yet, to know a little bit about my backstory, my family, my father, my mother, they didn't really give me a lot of good financial advice. They always said maybe you should save, but they never really showed me how, never really introduced me to some of the cool tools like the Roth IRA that I could save into. So I really learned a lot of the best financial advice I've received has been through my clients, has been through the experiences that they've gone through, the trials and tribulations of their financial rights and wrongs. And what they passed down to me is where that advice has come from. And I can think of, I guess, a few different things when I think of the best financial advice that I've ever got, that I've ever received. And the first thing is you should start saving earlier. Duh, right? I mean, I know that's not rocket science. I'm not some great revelation. But I met with so many different folks that were in their late 50s, maybe early 60s, that were approaching retirement and weren't as comfortable or confident as they would like to have been. And had they started saving earlier, they felt that they would be much more comfortable, going into retirement with a really good, strong feeling about it, and they didn't have it. So they wish they would have started earlier. And what such tremendous advice for, at the time, in my mid to the younger 20s, to get that. Because if my parents were telling me you need to save early, you need to start, which they didn't, but even if they had, I don't know if I really would have listened. But being now in my 20s and starting my career and sitting across the table from folks that didn't listen to the advice maybe that their parents had passed down to them, and now that they are paying the consequences. So that was very, very helpful. To kind of go along with that, as far as starting earlier, the other thing that they taught me, and once again, this isn't some epiphany like, oh wow, thanks Jeff, that really helped out a lot, but it helped a lot hearing it from out of their mouth, come out of their words saying, Jeff, trust me, here we are, you see our situation, you see where we're at, you see where we're lacking in the money that we wish we would have, and the reason that we're lacking is because we didn't start early and we didn't save enough. And I would kind of take another step to that as far as saving enough. I think the other aspect is trying to earn more. It's not always about saving, but it's also trying to earn more. And that's whether that's getting raises at your job, that's maybe doing freelance work, that's working a part-time job, maybe from home, maybe it's a side passion of yours, to basically try to earn more income. And that's something that I've kind of adopted. I do save. I did start early. I do save often, but I've also tried to find other ways to increase my income. So I think there's a delicate balance. I mean, saving is a good thing, but if you can make more, it makes it that much easier to save, correct? So that could either, choosing a different career path, if that's not in your blood, then maybe it's doing like a side job. I know I've got a lot of clients that will do, either be maybe it's freelance writing or photography or anything for that matter, just to basically have some extra income as well. So those are two of the things that I've gotten and I would consider as some of the best financial advice I ever got. The third and final thing, which actually if you go to my other blog, soldierfinance.com, I actually wrote an article about it. I talk about the Lou, which is the Chevy Lumina, the 1998 Chevy Lumina that I drove whenever I was in college, and also drove my first several years of working. And this was a car that was passed down from my now deceased grandmother. It was champagne colored, had the alloy wheels, 4-door, no spoiler, and had the cassette player. This thing was sharp, right? I mean, you can imagine driving around town in a 4-door Lumina. The one thing, few things about it though. One, it had about 12,000 miles on it. And I think I got it from her back in 2002, maybe earlier, I believe. So I received it you know, it was a car that was 6 years old or 4 years old at the time. I think a little bit older than that actually. It only had 12,000 miles on it. So that was one aspect of it too. The other aspect of it, it was paid or paid off. So I had no car payment. Final piece of information that I got that I would consider some of the best financial advice I ever got was from my finance professor back whenever I was a junior in college. The professor on the first day of class asked us, how many of you plan on trading in your car every 3 to 5 years? And I want to say all of us, maybe with the exception of two, and you got a class of 30 folks or so, all of us raised our hand. And I remember at the time I had this big vision of driving a BMW. I'm not sure why that was, but I just envisioned myself driving a BMW. Once I graduated, that was my car. 4 doors, sports sedan. That's what I wanted. And I knew once I graduated, didn't care how much I was going to make, I was going to find a way to get that BMW. And when he asked that question, we all raised our hand, and he responded by, while all of you are trading in your car every 3 to 5 years, taking my family overseas to European vacations. And when he said that, I'm like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? And then, so that was our introduction to the power of compounding interest, and how saving amount of money today and what it can grow to be, and showed by putting in a car payment per month, whether it be $300, $400, $500, $600 a month, what that can grow to be. And for me, as a young male who had these big aspirations of driving this sport luxury foreign car, it was like, wow, I mean, what am I doing? What am I thinking? Like, I'm going to be wasting money when I could actually be saving? So that was extremely helpful to me, and some of the best advice I ever got, because whenever I got that Lumina, whenever I inherited it, I had the option of trading it in or selling it, getting the cash and applying it towards the BMW. I would have had a car payment, but I would have been driving my dream car. Instead, I drove that Lumina for almost 3 or 4 years up until I returned back from Iraq, and I didn't have a car payment that whole time. And not having that car payment gave me the ability to be able to save into my 401k, into my Roth IRA. It made me appreciate the fact of how to spread a dollar, to not go out and waste money on just useless things. And that was such a huge pivotal point in my life, because now I reflect back, and because I didn't have that car payment for those years, I've got a decent amount stocked away in my retirement accounts that have been able to grow over the last few years. So that has been, like I said, just a great financial advice. I'm glad that I received it. I'm glad that I applied it. And any chance I get a chance to share that story with others, as I'm doing now, I look forward to it, and I hope that you get something out of that as well. So those are some of the best financial advices I've got over the years. I hope that was helpful. I'm curious, as far as with you, what is some of the best financial advice that you've received, in your life, and be sure to share your stories, your comments, so that others may benefit. So if you want more information, Good Financial Sense is where you'll find me. I've got, as you know, tons of information there. If you got any more questions, please feel free to drop me a line. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk to you all soon.